We're standing in the body of the C-17. You might remember back in 2007 at the Avalon International Air Show, the Australian Air Force put on show its first C-17. But this year, we're standing in a C-17 that has come to us from our international friends in America. And joining us is Captain Rush Taylor. Thank you for your time, Captain.
Thanks.
And welcome to Geelong.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Good to be here, and you've brought a little bit of rain with you as well, which we're loving.
Yeah. It's been hot and cold, but it's been nice. It's been nice so far.
Rush, how long have you been in the United States Air Force?
Little over 4 years.
A little over 4 years, and what led you in that career direction as a young man?
I just wanted to fly. That's all, and they afforded me the opportunity to get a pilot slot, and luckily in the C-17, what we're standing in now, so just lucky.
So in your early days as a youth, did some flying?
A little bit, yeah. I actually started off by flying hot air balloons. So I was a hot air balloon pilot first. That was my first rating. And then learned how to fly Cessnas and Pipers and little single-engine airplanes. And then got into the military, and now I'm flying big planes like this.
And boy, gee, there's a lot of difference between a basket beneath a hot air balloon and this magnificent beast, the C-17.
Yeah,
how long have you been flying this one?
A little over 2 years in the C-17.
And it is a magnificent machine, and it really defies description. You really have to get inside it and go over every intricate piece, because there is just thousands of yards of wiring and the technology that's been put into it. It's just really magnificent.
Yeah, for sure. It's very different than getting in, say, a commercial airliner. Like if you went into a Qantas jet or something, you see a lot more of how the airplane is actually built and all the wires inside of it, and kind of just the basic airplane structure.
What have you predominantly used for the C-17 in the United States Air Force?
We move everything from troops to equipment to tanks to you name it. We basically could fit it in the back of here and move it anywhere in the world, pretty much on short notice.
And have you had overseas missions?
Oh yeah. We fly daily, weekly, monthly into every country in the world, up to and including Iraq, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, everywhere you can imagine.
So the world of a captain in the United States Air Force is not just going to air shows. You've got some real business to deal with, haven't you?
No, I can say very easily that this is the best mission I've been on so far. Spending a week in Australia, it's just been great. It's just been wonderful.
Sitting up in the cockpit, you got a lot of power, you got a lot of weight behind you and underneath you. It takes a lot of training. How long did you train before you took over as captain?
It took about 2 years for me to get fully trained up in the C-17 and ready to fly and do these daily and weekly missions that we fly. So,
is there a next step for Captain Rush Taylor as far as career direction and maybe some of these big jets or smaller jets that are floating around?
I just take it one day at a time. I'm just happy where I'm at. I can't imagine being in another plane than C-17 or being at another base than in Hawaii.
And where is hometown for you in the United States of America?
I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Currently based in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yes, 24 hours from Tulsa, that great Gene Pitney tune.
Yeah.
We can reminisce a little, us oldies. We can remember those songs, can't we? And the plane itself is based in
Hawaii.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's home base.
That's home base right now. Yeah. For the last couple of years, I've been in Honolulu, and love it.
And how long does it take you to fly the C-17 from Hawaii to here at Avalon?
Took about 10.5 hours.
10.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And it's a good plane to fly, comfortable?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a lovely plane to fly, yeah. Very responsive.
And you stay here at Geelong and the Avalon International Air Show for 2009. You had another great success. You enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, loved it. Love to come back. Invite us back, please.
Well, as we said earlier, we're planning the 2011 one already.
Yeah.
So we're working on certainly getting another invitation for the United States Air Force and their C-17. And we thank their captain, Rush Taylor, for his time today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Was a visitor into our living rooms via the Channel 9 News and previously on other programs as well, but particularly as a news broadcaster. And his own personal credibility and dignity was such that Channel 9 once ran a series of commercials promoting the news, saying basically, I know everything I need to know because Brian told me so. And it was a good line, it worked, and here we are many years later still remembering it even amidst the tragedy of his death and that of so many others in the bushfires. The whole notion, though, of things must be true because I saw it on telly, or even more commonly perhaps I read it in the paper, is something that we need to be a little careful of. For most of us, I think, we work on the presumption that news reports are well researched and the facts are checked, but that's not necessarily always the case. And we have some fairly high-profile situations that emerge from time to time where the paper has to admit that they were wrong, perhaps the most recently being the photographs of Pauline Hanson, supposedly published in the Sunday Herald Sun and Sydney Daily Telegraph as well. I must admit I looked at the Sunday Herald Sun when they put forward those photos of Pauline Hanson, and I thought, hasn't anything else happened in the whole of Victoria to put in the paper at all, let alone on the front page? It turns out that they were duped. The paper hadn't done its research properly, and at least to their credit, gave a fair amount of publicity to the apology, which is not necessarily always the case. But it's a cautionary tale for us, one of perhaps many where the paper gets it wrong, and where we have to be just a little bit careful of the way in which we get taken in by various news reports. That often what is opinion, what is speculation, can be presented as factual, and we make our judgments and we talk about it over morning tea at work and so on, and the credibility of what we're reading is not necessarily always called into question. Also, together with that is the whole question of priorities, of what we put on our front page, because busy lives that we all lead, often we've only got a time to get through the early pages of the paper or listen to the news broadcasts and so on. And there was a report last week in the Herald Sun, I think it was about page 9 or 11, just a small report about a major medical breakthrough where medical researchers in Melbourne have discovered that sleep apnea is linked to type 2 diabetes, or they certainly believe that that's going to prove to be the case. Just a small article, major medical breakthrough affecting the lives of many people, only on page 9 or 11 or thereabouts. Of course, the first 4 or 5 pages were all about Ben Cousins and his return to Richmond, ill-fated, at least temporarily, as it turned out to be. What's the more important in the lives of most people? So, media is great. This program is part of it. I'm part of it. You're part of it. We're all part of it. But we need to just exercise caution, discretion, and a degree of, perhaps require a degree of proof of much of the material that's presented to us. And I present an opinion for what it's worth, take it or leave it. You have yours for what it's worth, take it or leave it. But perhaps the era of something being so because someone on telly told us so may well and truly be gone. Good to be with you on Geelong Newsbeat.
Well, thanks for being with us again at the Avalon International Air Show for 2009 out here at our wonderful city of Greater Geelong. We're very proud of it. International visitors from all over. And standing beside an F-35. This is the fighter of the future. It's a concept plane at the present time, but it is well and truly into development to be put into full build. So have a look at the future here from the Avalon International 2009 Air Show. Rollo saying for this week, bye for now.